But I want to talk about something really important in this manifesto, and it's one of the things we're really, really proud of. And what I did with this manifesto is I decided to take a holistic view on crime and policing. And I wanted to look about the whole picture, because it's not just as simple as putting 10,000 new officers on the street. That's important. You also need to better train these officers. That's important too. You want to digitize the police, because we can save 1/3 of the frontline officers' time by digitizing. But it also means going further, and that's creating something called a Victims' Bill of Rights. And I put this up on the screen right now, and you can read about the Victims' Bill of Rights. Finally, it's a way where victims are treated fairly and with dignity. And a Bill of Rights addresses 4 key issues: information, protection, participation, and restitution. And the problem is that existing victims' rights legislation, it doesn't address these issues adequately. And I want to work with key people here in London and in the police and making sure we put the victims' rights first. Now, this might be the first time you're hearing of something called the Victim Bill of Rights, so let me break it down to you exactly what this means. Because when a crime is committed against you, a lot of times there's no protocol. There's no order of events. And a lot of times there's no resolution with what happened. And I think that's unacceptable for a variety of reasons. And I want to walk with you this Victims' Bill of Rights and what you actually get. So first of all, information. Every victim has the right to information about the criminal justice system and the role of victims in it, and about the services and programs available to them as a victim, including restorative justice programs. Next, every victim has the right to information about the status and outcome of the investigation into their offense. So many times, victims don't know what's going on. Third, every victim has the right to information relating to the offender's release and the timing and conditions of that release. This is the first step, information. But there's more. The second part is protection. Every victim has the right to have their security considered by the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system. Next, every victim has the right to have reasonable and necessary measures taken by the appropriate authorities to protect the victim from intimidation and retaliation. Very important here that we codify this. Third, every victim has the right to have their privacy considered by the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system. And finally, every victim has the right to request that their identity be protected if they are compliant to the offense or acting as a witness. So again, protection is a very crucial part, and that's part 2 of the Victim Bill of Rights. Next comes participation. Every victim has the right to convey their views about decisions to be made by appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system that affect the victim's rights. And the next part of that is that every victim has the right to present a victim impact statement to the appropriate authorities in the criminal justice system and to have it considered. This is an important part of this process, participation. And the final part is this: restitution. Every victim has the right to have the court consider making a restitution order against the offender. These 4 parts comprise our Victims' Bill of Rights. And if you've ever been a victim of a crime or a victim, you all also can probably think and remember maybe one of these things was missing, maybe 2 of these things was missing, maybe all of them were missing. And it always probably left something inside of you that felt unresolved. Maybe you felt you were treated unfairly, that someone didn't respect what had actually happened to you. The Victims' Bill of Rights will ensure that we have a process that shows this restitution, this completion of any crime happening against any citizen in London. And I just want to say, I've spoken with senior members of the Metropolitan Police that want this stated and this instituted. So this isn't something that's trying to be put on the police. This is something that they've been calling for many, many years. It's just never happened because the politicians haven't been involved and haven't empowered them to put this into place. Again, as your next mayor of London, I'm going to put in place the Victims' Bill of Rights and ensure information, protection, participation, and restitution to every single victim. This will change the game of our mental health. It'll make it clear what happens, and it will also deter crime. If a criminal has to look the victim in the eye and listen to how that changed their lives, I think it's one of the most effective ways we can use to lower crime in this city. This is powerful, powerful innovation, and it's something that I want to implement as your next mayor of London on May 6th.